You see, this is why I bring up the corollary aspect because it's so significant. It's always significant in terms of the esoteric energy in regards to the left hand when it comes to these sacrifices and these events. Come on, you see this right here. This album cover on the left-hand side is the album cover for Westside Gunn's Hitler Wears Hermes 10, aptly titled just 10, simply 10. And the reason why it was titled just 10, on a deeper level than the surface is because it represents the understanding of completion, the zenith. And that's correlative in regards to the understanding of what took place with Takeoff. Takeoff dies at the age of 28. 28 represents the number 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. And you see the album cover, orange sweater, and you see how it matches up with what took place with Mr. Takeoff. And this is just a small element. There's other elements to it, but this is just a small element in regards to the correlative aspect. You see Takeoff in the orange, and you see on the album cover the brother, Westside Gunn's associate, whoever this fiend is, his name is Eastside Flip or whatever. It's all esoteric in regards to what they want to push when it comes to the conveyance. You see the orange sweater. Quavo has on an orange sweater. The black and white cap on a brother Eastside Flip. Black and white pants on a brother Quavo. So all of this stuff is significant. It's very important that we understand the correlative aspect because it's stark. And you see the lighter flicked. The last song on the album is called Red Death. Red Death represents safety off, getting hit with that hot lead. We already understand what took place with Mr. Takeoff. Hitler Wears Hermes 10. 10, 28, 22 represents the number 42. 10 plus 28 or 10 plus 10 because 28 is just a coded way of, conveying the number 10. 10, 10, 22 is 42. 42 represents as above, so below. And that's, something that's prevalent in wake of this happening subsequent from Halloween. Excuse me, I know y'all hear the smoke detector, but this is something I just wanted to jump to. I definitely got to get a new alarm. Because these things, when it comes to how they unrelate, it's always important to understand how stark it is in regards to the correlative aspect. Because they're all on the world stage. They're all Luciferians. I mean, Westside Gunn has many different connections with, big high-level artists, high-level Luciferians. So I believe as far as like how I'm assessing it when it comes to just me putting certain things together, I believe he's used as some sort of figure in regards to predictive programming because, I covered many aspects of certain things that correlated with Westside Gunn and his album covers and, release dates and whatnot. It's all based off of the understanding of what they partake in and levels that they're at. That's what it's all about. Westside Gunn is a high level 5% of Luciferian. He definitely is. He's a high level Mason. Just to put it in simple terms, he is a big time Mason. And when it comes to, the moniker, his name is Fly God. Fly God is an allusion to Baal. That's what it is. It's an allusion to Baal. Fly God, the Lord of Flies. It represents Satan. That's what he's a satanic figure in the entertainment industry. That's why he pushed the music that he pushed. And he's so blasphemous when it comes to the lyrics in regards to him saying he's a God, he's the closest thing to God and all this stuff. He's an enlightener on the left-hand side. Like I said, you see the lighter flicked. The lighter represents death. This is a form of predictive programming. That's what this is. This came out 10/28. The brother Takeoff dies at the age of 28. And you see the album cover and how it matches up with what Quavo wore. Am I reaching? Maybe I'm reaching. Okay, I'll die alone on that hill, whatever. But listen, man, it's crazy. It's just crazy when it comes to how these things match up. And, in these last days, it's going to be more and more easier to discern these things. Because I know that there's a lot of intelligent brothers out there who understand how the world works. And it's just going to be more and more easier for you to understand these things. You're going to see right through all this shit. It's no coincidence. And also 10 plus 28 or 10, 28, because 28 is just pretty much a coded way of saying 10. So 10 plus 10 plus 22. I'm just talking about the release date. Westside Gunn's album came out 10/28/22. It was really a way of saying 10/10/22, which is 42. 10 plus 10 equals 20, obviously, plus 22 is 42. 42 represents as above, so below. We already understood what took place in wake of Samhain, or in the aftermath of Samhain, which is the day that represents as above, so below, to its highest degree. All this stuff is correlative. Not just correlative, but esoteric, Luciferian, all based off of the left-hand energy. So I just wanted to continue on with the correlative element in regards to these connections that might be, it might be quizzical to certain people in regards to this person matching up with this person. But we have to understand the entertainment industry. We have to understand that world. And Mr. Westside Gunn, playing out the role of a satanic figure with the name Fly God, but L's above. That's what that represents. Westside Gunn is a high-level Luciferian, a high-level Mason. And I'm not just saying that just to say that. It's just based off of what I see and what I know about the entertainment industry and about what he's aligned with. He's a 5%er. We already know what the 5%er doctrine goes back to. We already know about the gods and the earths. We already know about the name Fly God and what it really means. It's not about him dressing up and all that. That's just the front. The real understanding of Fly God represents him being Baal. He's pretty much playing out the role of Beelzebub, the Lord of Flies. Pretty much representing Satan. That's all that is. That represents Satan. Now, the reason why I wanted to touch on this furthermore is because in my last video, I brung out the correlative element and how pretty much, you would look at a Westside Gunn and you would say, what does he have to do with Migos? He has a lot to do with these artists in regards to him knowing who they are and them knowing who he is, because he's a big wig in the entertainment industry. That's why he has all these connections with the Jay-Z and the Eminem. And he's been on, like, ever since 2016, he's been getting, like, major features. And this is somebody from Buffalo, a place where, nobody really, know about hip-hop like that when it comes to rappers coming out of Buffalo. So this is how you know that he's someone who's, he's someone who's important. He's someone who you should delve more into in regards to where did this person come from? He just came out of nowhere. And it just seemed as if when you analyze it on a three-dimensional level, I come to the conclusion that this person is some sort of agent, some sort of figure in the entertainment industry that's meant to push Luciferianism at its heights. That's why there's a market for that type of content when it comes to the Griselda, shoot 'em up, drug dealing bullshit. And why you think they push it so hard, with the fentanyl and all this stuff? Because we already understand that the Israeli Mossad pretty much presides over the hip hop industry. So it's all about, what the truth really is when it comes to them speaking about these things. Because it's CIA orchestrated. We already know that. As far as like the fentanyl and not just the drug use, but as far as just this music overall, the hip hop overall, the content overall. The big ways, the Jewish execs, they want these people to rap about this type of vibration because it's all meant to defeat you in the long run. It's nothing that good that comes out of these type of lyrics. But I'm someone who can listen to it and enjoy it because I understand how to separate the meat from the bones. I'm not going to internalize it. But certain people, they understand that, it can be dangerous for them. As far as when I say certain people, I'm talking about the people that's controlling it. They know that this can lead people astray. That's why they push this type of music. That's why there's a market for it. But Westside Gunn is someone who's a big-time Luciferianism. So when you look at that album cover for Hitler Wears Hermes 10 and you look at, what Quavo had on during the demise of Takeoff, and then you take into account the number 10. Takeoff dies at the age of 28. Westside Gunn puts out the album for completion, representing completion on 10/28. 10/28/22. 10/10/42. 42 representing as above, so below. As above, so below representing, the spiritual element where the demonic side is at its heights. And also the physical coming together with the spiritual on the left hand. So all of this stuff is intertwined when it comes to the correlative element. Just like, for example, George Floyd, he dies in 2020 through a tragic event, which was pretty much disseminated on the masses for shock value, as well as, other agendas that was pushed from that, but there was a predictive programming element, just like it is with this one, where Lady Gaga 2011, she has a song called Edge of Glory. Mind you, Edge of Glory spells out George Floyd. The last time she performed it was in May 2011. 2011, 11/11, the Twin 11s, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where this happened in 2020. Edge of Glory, George Floyd. The predictive programming element is prevalent. It's prevalent. And we're going to see it more and more in these last days. We just got to pick up on it when it comes to being able to discern and decipher. It lends credence to it. And then you look at this video, Westside Gunn's video, Mac Don't Stop. This is the video for Mac Don't Stop, one of the latter songs on the Hitler Wears Hermes 10 album. It says RIP Takeoff. You got to ask yourself, what does Westside Gunn have to do with Takeoff? Just in this sense, because I don't know them personally, but just in this sense, I believe that this has to do with the predictive programming element. It's just that certain people can't pick it up because this is surface value stuff. They'll just look at this and say, oh, he's just paying homage to Takeoff, that's all. But no. From what I see in regards to how I assess these things, Westside Gunn was used as a signifier for predictive programming. That's all this was about. He is the fly god. He is Baal, the Lord of flies, the Lord of sacrifice. Baal is the god of sacrifice. Takeoff was sacrificed after Samhain on November 1st. Right? So all of this stuff is correlative when it comes to esotericism, Luciferianism. I don't want to leave anything out, but there's a lot that pretty much just it makes it solid when it comes to me and my assessment in regards to what I see from this. It makes it solid just based off of all these things that you have to take into account. 10/28/22. Friday. For the god of fly. Excuse me, I said for the god of flies. I'm thinking of fly god. I mean Friday for the mother goddess, Frigga. Her loss. The album was pushed to November 4th. In the aftermath of Takeoff's deaths, and I'm talking about Drake album now, Drake and 21 Savage album. Her loss. Whose loss? Whose loss was it? You got to think about that. Takeoff was sacrificed, not only to Baal, but also the mother goddess, the false pagan, god or goddess known as Frigga or Freya or Baal. But yes, man, Takeoff was a sacrifice, and Westside Gunn pretty much was used as a symbol for predictive programming, just like on the song Red Death. Red Death being the last song. On the song Red Death, Stove God Cooks even mentions, something about we already did the damage or something like that. We gonna stop you like a rocket. That's correlative, man. Houston Rockets, Houston, where Takeoff passed away, he took off on a rocket. Come on, man. And Stove God Cooks, he always used these numerological elements within his raps because he's a big time Luciferianism. He's pretty much controlled. He's pretty much under mind control. Like, I have no doubt about these things. It's clear. It's just that it's one of those things where obviously you can't set in stone confirm it, but you can tell that this is what it is just based off of what you find. Because this isn't information that's disseminated to the masses. You have to look for it and then put the pieces together when it comes to the puzzle that you fixing, that you creating or whatever. You got to put the pieces to the puzzle together. They're not going to just give it to you. This world is not based in anything sincere. It's a fake world we live in. That's all it is. So all this stuff, we're going to be fed, but it's going to be fed to us in a bullshit fashion. It's not going to be fed to us with a degree that we need to understand it. Obviously, this is Satan's world. So he's going to rule based off of deception. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? But we have to understand the correlative element when it comes to the Luciferian energy on the left-hand side. Mr. Takeoff dies at the age of 28, a signifier representing number 10, which is completion. Westside Gunn put out his album, Hitler Wears Hermes 10. The number 10 represent completion. Why did he put out Hitler Wears Hermes 10 when he already decided that Hitler Wears Hermes 8 would be the last one? Because it was all based on the correlative aspect. This is why you see RIP Takeoff in the beginning of the video for Westside Gunn's song Mac Don't Stop, where he's wearing the orange cap to represent enlightenment. And you see the Houston, or you see the Texas map right here. So this is just supposed to be an understanding of the correlative aspect. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. So God bless you all and peace.